Hi there. Thank you for joining me for this awesome video lesson. And I'm happy to be here. You know, uh, it's been a while, and I'm really happy to be here making this awesome video lesson for you. And I would love to thank my mentors, Robert Kiyosaki, excuse me, who wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'd love to thank Timothy Sykes, who wrote the forward to the book, Penny Stock Guide, a Penny Stock course. And finally, I'd love to thank Matthew Crater, who wrote the book Rocket Stocks. And you can find all their books on Amazon Kindle. Now, I have prepared some notes here. Now, the title of this lesson is You Need to Exit SP500 at 4,698.34, and here's why. Okay, now right now the market is oversold. So when you look at this market, okay, I think there was a time when it became kind of viral. S&P is going up, S&P is going up. There was a viral moment. S&P is going up, S&P is going up. It did become like a viral moment at some point, where S&P was going up. And I have to admit that I was one of the people that began recommending to buy S&P. And right now, the market is oversold. So we call this in the trading industry the market correction. So you really need to take profits on your S&P 500 position. Stocks are in the main news. So when you start seeing stocks in the main news now, when the mainstream media takes a hold of the bull market, this is usually a very good time to exit. So this is definitely the best time to exit your S&P 500 share buy position. Definitely, this is time to exit. Do not add to your position. If you've added, exit at a loss right now. Now, even though this is at correction level. So again, this this crash that's coming in the S&P, it might or it might not. But the one that's coming, it is not for shorting. It is for correction. It's called the market correction. So maybe it will crash, then it will hold it a position, right? And then it will start going up again. So this is the time to exit. Okay. So it's like it will crash a bit, okay, but then you have to exit. Now you have to exit the position. Now, when you look at the historical chart, you will see the pattern of why. So, the reason why this is the correction, if we look at it from a historical standpoint, all right, let's look at it from a historical standpoint. So, this is an example of a correction here, right? Excuse me. This right here is an example of a correction pattern. So, it will go down like this, it will go down like this, then it will hold, right? So this is what's going to happen next. All right. Let me see what's this. This is not a good short position, but a good exit. Again, this is not a good short position, but a good exit. So now, can you short a correction? Maybe, possibly, but you really that's like that's like a professional level. Okay, if if nothing else, the best pattern to trade is S&P 500. Okay, so and let me also remind you that S&P 500 and Bitcoin do move together. So probably this may be also the time when people will start talking about Bitcoin. Okay, no Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. Buy. So most likely this is the time when your best friend starts talking about Bitcoin and crypto. Uh, that's a good time to exit and take profits. If you bought earlier on, then yeah, you can. You're still safe. But usually at correction level is good time to take profits when the mainstream media catches hold of it. When your best friend who doesn't know anything about stock trading starts asking you about Bitcoin, you better take profits. Okay, because S&P and Bitcoin move together. Now, historically, it crashed at this level in 2022. So this is what I was looking at. So in 20, if you look at it in 2022, it was around this level that it did crash, right? Remember here, 2022, this market crash. This was I think it was during the pandemic. I'm not sure, but at this level, this was the time when historically it had this big market crash, and it kept going down and down and down and down. And you can see it's hit that level. But then again, what you need to remember about the S&P 500 is that it keeps going up, right? So it will not necessarily crash to oblivion, but it will crash for correction. Yes, so historically it crashed at this level in 2022. And finally, remember to exit when your buy has hit the main news. Again, uh, this is around the time when the mainstream media has taken a hold of it. Okay, so this is the time the mainstream media has taken a hold of this news, because it's that thing whereby this is definitely the time to exit. Okay, because mainstream media, again, they don't know anything about trading. Okay, so always remember this. All right, you need to exit SP 500 at this level. All right, this is the time to exit. Now, usually I would not share the time to exit. I would talk about the entry time, but you know what? Entry. Everyone always talks about entry. But I said, you know what? Because I had nothing to talk about. The market is very quiet right now. So, man, wait, why is the market quiet? That's what I'm thinking right now. And I'm like, the market is quiet. There are no entries. You know, uh, at least the entries, they're not safe entries, at least. I mean, you can speculate, but I think I personally believe the entries are gone. Uh, I don't see an entry in gold. I don't see an entry in Bitcoin. There are really no entries in the market right now. So I said, all right, if there are no entries, then what's happening? So I went back, looked at the historical chart of the S&P 500, and after looking at the historical chart of the S&P 500, I realized that it is a correction period. All right, so this is definitely a correction period, and this is the correction level. You know, this is the correction level because, again, I looked at it, and historically, you just have to look at things historically. Now, when it comes to trading, history is your friend. And also take note of what the main news is saying. And because all of a sudden I'm looking at these websites, and They're talking about stocks. All of a sudden, financial analysts have become experts, right? You're like, oh my goodness, that's not a good sign. Okay, let me look at it from this angle. So if you look at this, okay, all right. So this is the news right here that you can look at. So it says this is according to Market Watch. Let's look at it. Let's look at what it says. Investors should do this in 2024 instead of chasing the S&P 500, says Wells Fargo. Now, by JW here. Now, investors can add value to their portfolios in the next 6 to 18 months, says Wells Fargo Investment Institute. Investors should seize on the powerful 2023 and year-end rally in stocks and bonds and add value to their portfolio in other ways over the next 6 to 18 months, according to Wells Fargo Investment Institute. Now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average already curved out a handful record closes in the second half of December. The S&P 500 index SPX has nearly reclaimed record territory, and the 10-year Treasury yield has dropped over 100 basis points to 3.88% from 16-year high. All right, now, basically, they're trying to basically they're trying to connect the S&P 500 to the news of the Federal Reserve rating. Now, again, you really have to know what you're doing. Like I was saying before, this is the best time to exit. This is definitely the best time to exit. Now, when you look at the historical chart, you will see the pattern of why. So again, it is not that hard. Okay. So I'm just trying to rerun through the notes because repetition is the art of learning. So I'm trying to rerun on the notes, just make sure that it stays solid in the mind. So remember, you have to look at the historical pattern, and we go back to 2022. So what happened in 2022 at this level? And as you can see, this was the market crash. But this is not the market crash, this is the correction. So an example of a market correction is this one here. This is a good example of a market correction. And the funny thing about a market correction is that it can even happen in a crashing market. Look at this. It came down here and then it corrected at that level. I don't know if you can see it clearly with these bars, but maybe with a line chart it's a bit more clearer. So you can see the correction here, right? And then even as the market was crashing, there was another correction in the market crash. There were like two corrections, this one here and this one here from a short side. So a market correction does not choose whether it's a buy or sell. It can either be on the buy side or on the short side. So when you look at the historical chart, you will see the pattern of why. Now, again, always remember that historically it crashed at this level in 2022, and this is a very big point to remember, because if you look at 2022 right here, this is where the market crash happened. Okay, right there. All right, so you look at 2022 and look at what has happened. It actually hit that resistance. All right, so you look at it historically. So you really need to you need to train your mind to look at historical chart patterns. Okay, now this is not a good short position but a good exit. Again, this is the time to exit if you are trading. Okay, but if you were buying for holding, or a long-term investment, probably you bought at this level here, right? This was the best level for investment, right? For holding, maybe you plan to hold for like 2 years. This was the best buy, right? But if you were planning to exit, so let's say you bought in October, so 3 months later, which is December, this is your time to exit your position. So again, this is the exit time. All right, it's not. I'm not saying you short. This is not the time to short. This is the time to exit. Now remember to exit when your buy has hit the main news. Again, when you start seeing people talking about Bitcoin, people that you know they have no clue of trading. If you see people like real estate investors talking about Bitcoin, you know what I mean? Now I don't mean to bash real estate investors, but honestly, most real estate investors don't know how to trade Bitcoin, which is fine. But some do, which is fine. So when you start seeing someone that he's got no idea of how to trade Bitcoin, starts talking about buying Bitcoin, you have to exit your trade. All right, exit at profit. So that's what's happening right now. Okay, Bitcoin has definitely hit the mainstream news. And remember, Bitcoin and S&P 500 sometimes move together, but the S&P 500 is one of the best indicators. And shout out to Robert Kiyosaki's team, where I learned this from, of the S&P 500 being the best indicator for buying Bitcoin. So then finally, remember, like right now, the market is oversold. All right. So this is very, very important. So there are two things to remember. It's trading. There is oversold and overbought. So when I say oversold, I actually mean overbought. It's really confusing. The lessons in trading are actually counterintuitive. So the real market data is saying it's oversold. Means people, it's the supply is too much. But in technical analysis, something that has high supply is actually termed or coined as overbought. Okay, it means too many people are buying it, or too many people have the buying power. So oversold in this case I'm not talking of it in the sense of technical analysis. I'm talking of it in the sense of market analysis. Oversold, the sense that there is too much supply. So you really need to understand the jargon and the twist between overbought and oversold. So overbought in the technical analysis sense, it means that there is too much supply. Then oversold, it means there is too much demand. So in this case, when I say oversold, right, I'm not talking about it in technical analysis terms. I'm talking about it in market analysis terms, meaning the supply is just too high. So I would love to thank you again so much for watching this video. Please, my disclaimer is don't buy what I tell you to buy. Don't sell what I tell you to sell. I reserve the right to be wrong. Do your own research before you trade. Thank you for watching this video. Please rocket boost it and show me some support. And thank you again for watching. Trade safe and bye bye.